In this video, we're going to discuss some of the applications and uses of stem cells as part of the first key area about cell division and differentiation. So, two main categories or application of stem cells, the first being their therapeutic uses. This is going to involve the repair of any damaged or diseased tissues, so using the stem cells in medical applications. So two good go-to examples would be repair of the cornea of the eye using these stem cells, or even in the regeneration of skin, which then can be grafted on to heal wounds and injuries there. Okay. So anything that implies medical treatments, uses in hospitals will be an example of a therapeutic use. Second category are your research, so being used in the laboratory for experiments and studies. Lots and lots of valuable information comes from researching and working with these stem cells. Again, a couple of good go-to examples would be studying how diseases develop or testing new medications. Okay. So much of the information we have on how cells work, how they grow, how they specialise, how we regulate the genes, all comes from these stem cell studies. So anything in the laboratory, any kind of experiment, knowledge gained from working with these stem cells would be an example of a research use. So make sure you read the questions carefully and you know if you're being asked for an example that it matches the type you have been asked for. The last little bit with the applications of stem cells is the ethics that surrounds their use, particularly of these embryonic stem cells. So, what you're being expected to do here is really summarise the debate, the pros, the cons. So, reflect the scenario presented if you have one, any sort of language and examples you use in the question. So, the upside will be things like development of new treatments for disease, whereas the downside is it's always going to involve the destruction of the embryo. That's where some of the controversy and problems arise from. Okay? But you don't need to come down on one side of the debate or the other, just merely to summarise what the ethics around this area are. Okay? So to have a little think about that, this is some of the ways it could be presented in assessment. So question one, stem cells can be cultured in a laboratory for research purposes. So state one way in which stem cells are used. And the second question, you've been told scientists have recently found a way of converting skin cells into embryonic stem cells. So taking those adult or tissue ones, converting them into embryonic. And you're asked to suggest why this would be an advantage from an ethical viewpoint. So pause the video and have a go at answering these two questions. The answers then. So for the first one, the research purposes, so that's to study, that's the key bit there, because it's been studied or used in the laboratory. So you could study disease, genetic disorders, for drug testing, or to study cell processes, cell growth, cell differentiation, gene regulation, or simply to state that they're used as model cells. So plenty of options for their research uses. And you can see as well, it does mention to not accept any therapeutic use, such as the corneal repair or the skin grafts, as it's specifically asked for research. Okay. The second question was around the ethics. So, why would it be an advantage to start with adult tissue stem cells? Well, the upside there is then the embryos would not need to be used or destroyed. So, again, just different ways that you can word that. You've not said whether that's good or bad, come down one side of the debate, but it does avoid that downside. Okay. Any questions, comments, you can leave below.